What's up, YouTube? Dax the Leader here, back with a different kind of video. This is something I've done on stream before, and in the future, I think I will make these stream highlights. Basically, I'm going to be analyzing a Draft League battle. This battle in particular was brought to me by Kinda Bad, aka Sai-san, alright? And he's a guy that I'm not exactly coaching, but it's someone who asked for help recently, who's relatively new to the format, so I figured I'd take this opportunity since I wanted to transition my channel sort of to a more kind of coaching role. I'm just going to watch this battle for the first time and give my thoughts on the plays. I sort of recommended a few things for building. I don't remember exactly what I said, to be honest, but I'm sure I'll remember as I watch the game. And please be sure, I usually say this at the end, but I'll say it now. Please make sure to like this video if you guys want to see more stuff like this in the future. Maybe I'll do like more than one battle per video, but we'll see about that. But for now, let's get on right into it. So looking at this lead matchup, I noticed that Ultra Goomba has the Masquerain right away, which is a pretty big threat, as getting up webs early is a huge hindrance to mons like Koko and Garchomp, making them much less threatening. But the opponent does have this Sand Core in Excadrill and Gigalith, so I'm assuming that because you brought both of them, you have the Sandstream Gigalith with the Excadrill, and the Excadrill really only threatens the Koko, so I don't totally understand that bring. I feel like Scarf Drill would probably be better, but anyway. So that's the opponent's team. Is also Landorus. So this is like a very ground spam type of team. It's looking like with a lot of speed control options. And whereas, sorry, I am a little bit, my throat's pretty sore right now. So, whereas Kinda Bad's only form of speed control is the Unburden Lucha. By speed control, like, a lot of people think of speed control as like laying up a hazard like Sticky Web or using something like Tailwind, Trick Room, but I think I refer to speed control, or like I tend to refer to speed control as any method of boosting your speed aside from just like set up like agility or whatever, like moves, but like choice Scarfers or Unburden Pokemon, stuff like that. That's all speed control, and like not priority either necessarily. Though priority could count anyway. It's just ways of checking faster mons, right? Without just being faster. That's what speed control is. So hopefully you already learned something. Anyway, leads. Yeah, Masquerain's good for him. So to counter that, if it is Focus Sash, if the Garchomp is Dual Chop, that's a good lead. Otherwise, the Koko is not a good lead here. Usually Koko is a very good lead because it's very fast. You can just Volt Switch out or U-turn out versus most anything. But considering the opponent has two ground types right here, that's not a great option. Predicting the two ground types, you'd probably consider leading Slowking, actually. Slowking has a great matchup right here. Water hits four of these 6 mons super effectively, and Klefki can't really do much to a Slowking. Masquerain is the only thing that threatens it, and considering that Masquerain is a pretty likely lead, maybe Slowking's not the best option. I'd say like Garchomp. Garchomp here is pretty nice, and probably your only choice actually, because Scissor's not great either, as you want to be saving Scizor as a check to, say, the Excadrill. Yeah. Alright, let's see what happens. So he is going to lead off with the Garchomp, as our opponent leads off with the Masquerain. I was expecting a hazard trade right there. Goes for the Ice Beam. That's I don't know if you were expecting that Garchomp lead, but that was cool right there. And the outrage right away. Oh, and he just dies. Is that a life orb? That is a life orb. Okay. So that was your turn right there. Now let me actually see what this Masquerain goes for. Never mind. The Masquerain, yeah, the Masquerain uses Skull and it fails. Okay, if you had gone, I don't like that play. Here's why. Garchomp was a pretty big threat, Ground being super effective against 4 out of these 5 mons and being immune to the other 2, so Ground was pretty threatening. The opponent could have easily gone into Klefki if it was like Air Balloon or something and completely blocked that. And you had Life Orb, so you just died to your own recoil right there. Even if you're at low HP, like only 9%, which is what this Garchomp was at, I think it's worth, in a scenario like this, preserving a sack. Because Masquerain is not that difficult to switch into. Actually, on this team it kind of is, funny enough. But, yeah, he's already reeled Ice Beam. So, maybe go hard into one of your defoggers, like, I guess Koko, if that's your defogger, or even Scizor. Although you don't want Scizor to get burned. But yeah, like, the thing you did with Garchomp right there really didn't gain you anything, right? I don't know if there actually... I'm not going to say there was an objectively better play, but what you did with Garchomp actually didn't get any value. So, if you're new to the format, you gotta start looking at, if you're new to any competitive format, not even Pokemon, you gotta start looking at, like, if your play gets value or not. You know, do I progress in the game? Am I closer to winning by making this play? And in this case, you're not. In fact, you're closer to losing because you've lost the Pokemon. Whereas saving it could have gained you momentum had you sacked it later on. So, okay, Slowking is the immediate switch in. Let's hope this doesn't have a bug move. Even if it does, maybe, I guess Slowking could have been a pretty good switch in. Because its Spadef is so high. I don't remember if this Masquerain is a Z move user or not. If it's Bug Z, excuse me, jeez, then that's a threat. If it's Quiver Dance, that's also, like, it could be pretty threatening actually. You gotta kind of get rid of this Masquerain soon. So, actually, because you made the Garchomp play, I think Koko is probably the switch in right here, just to force it out, because, like, rocks are up now, right? It's taking so much damage when it comes back in. You can finish it off with literally anything, like a Scizor Bullet Punch. So, I think a Pokemon like Koko, just to force this Masquerain out, would have been better, because now it gets off another attack or potentially sticky webs right here. Exactly, see? It gets up its webs. Yeah, and you gave it that free turn. If you went into Koko, it would not have had that free turn. Yes, you can take a hit with this thing, but Koko is faster, because you know it's not Scarf. Because it went for Skull the turn before. You know that Koko is faster, you know that it will die to a Thunderbolt, so that's going to put you in the back. Having those webs up is going to hurt your Koko especially, and make it way less viable because he has the double grounds, right? And then other mons, like the Gigalith could potentially pack Earthquake, something like that. And now, because Slowking's not strong enough to kill it in one hit, he has yet another turn to get value out of this Masquerain, you know? He can now, like, he has, with this Masquerain, killed your Garchomp and gotten up sticky webs. It's a freaking Masquerain. A Masquerain should never be allowed to do this much in a game, you know what I mean? So, there you go. And he's able to roost up right here. Surf does, what was that? Surf did 43, whereas Ice Beam did 55. I don't know if you calced that and saw that Surf just had a better roll, or you were trying to hit anything coming in. That's pretty fair, like, but like I was saying before, I think Masquerain did its job in this game already. I think Masquerain's done more than enough for your opponent to say that, okay, Masquerain has gotten enough value for me, I'm okay with letting it die right here. So he's probably just going to keep it in rather than switch out, versus the Slowking, which is a pretty big offensive threat. Like I said, there's no water resist on your opponent's team. So yes, a Surf is safe, I guess, but if you wanted to secure the kill on this Masquerain, Ice Beam might have been the better option had you calculate that and seen that Ice Beam did more damage. But I don't know. And he's able to just continuously roost here. Ice Beam's not doing enough. Dude, I really hope you don't get 6-0'd by Masquerain. Okay, so he does decide to save it. There, he overpredicts pretty hard, and you get rewarded with a critical hit. So that's nice. His Masquerain, isn't it still dead? Because it took, hold on. Okay, it switched out to 52, so it can come in one more time. That's what he was waiting for. So Klefki takes a ton of damage in exchange for Toxicking your Slowking. I don't know if that was worth it. Considering Garchomp is gone, maybe it was actually, because now you no longer need this as like an Outrage switch in. So that's kind of cool for him. So yeah, Klefki, like, that's the other thing, right? Letting someone like Garchomp go down means he can afford to sack something like Klefki, right? Meaning he can play more aggressively. You're just, certain plays you make give your opponents these big opportunities that you got to think about, I think. So Klefki can get up hazards here, and it doesn't look like you have a great way of getting rid of them, but you're just going to kill with the Surf because you got that crit. He does get the Toxic off on you, and I still think his Klefki got good value here. Because the Garchomp died, just Toxicking the Slowking, that's like about as much as you could ask of the Klefki at the time. So you guys are 1-1, but I think your opponent is in a way better spot right now. Especially because this Mon is much weaker. The Slowking is pretty weakened right now. The Emboar play is a little questionable. I guess this means he doesn't have a bug move on Masquerain. Because right now you're just throwing out your Emboar, you're going to Wild Charge. He should have calced. This is probably not going to kill, and I hope you calc and realize that's not going to kill because then he's going to lose his Emboar. The Emboar did not get value right there. The Emboar should have been the Scizor check, the defensive check to Scizor. It should have come in on Scizor, blocked U-turn opportunities, and or just Scizor should have been the opportunity for Emboar to come in, rather than offensively checking this Slowking. Like I said, I think Masquerain was the way to do that. I think potentially Landorus was the way to do that. With like, I don't know what Landorus could have done actually. But yeah, if there's no bug move on Masquerain, this guy really didn't prepare well for Slowking at all. Are you faster right here? Well, the sand plus the thing is going to take you out, plus the Toxic, so switching is good, you got your regen. And then this does nothing. And he has no Sleep Flutter right now. This is where I think you would sacrifice something like the Masquerain, but you go into the Excadrill. Do you not have Spore? That Spore was the play. Does Spore like not work in Sandstorm? Is there a thing like that? Hidden Power, Fire potentially? Nice for the Excadrill. Yeah, but he doesn't have a ton for this Amoonguss, so like, because this guy's team is so like monotype almost, he's got like the rock type and the 2 ground types, right? That's like half his team. That they share a lot of weaknesses. So that makes your job a whole lot easier. Something like Amoonguss, something like Slowking. Every team has a Fire, Water, Grass core. This guy's gonna struggle. I love this core, by the way. Amoonguss Slowking. It's been proven by many Draft League players over the years, and it's a strong core. So yeah, you could kind of afford to stay in with these like bulky water, bulky grass type mons and just whittle away at stuff because he has no way of recovering. This is all fine. It's not hard to do. It doesn't take experience necessarily to stay in and click the super effective button, but yeah, sometimes there is a place for it, and I think you're doing this just fine. I'll tell you that. I don't know why you didn't click Spore though, if you had it. So he's just going to keep on hitting power icing. It isn't really doing anything. And he's going to lose his Landorus for it. So now it's like, what, 2 mons he's lost? Just trying to take out your walls, which is good. That's what you want here. And look, that's nice. What you've done right here, you recognize that Amoonguss has done its job. It's killed like 2 things, almost. Or it's gotten rid of Landorus, which is probably the biggest threat at this point. And yeah, it's killed the Landorus. Yeah, that's value. You can let it die right here. What I would have loved to see you do actually is sacrifice Koko just to get the terrain, and then you could have won with Lucha right there. That would have been really nice. And he didn't spin. If he did spin, actually that would have been a really bad play. So yeah, not worth the risk, but that would have been really clean. Because now, that's a good Scizor. It's a Mega Scizor, I forgot. Yeah, okay, he loses. Defog, and then Scizor just wins right here. So this guy's team, because it's so, like, monotype, it really doesn't have a lot. You just had a good matchup, really. And that's what saved you here. That's a lot of damage. I guess, I don't know, maybe I overestimated Gigalith's physical defense. I thought Gigalith's physical defense was, like, a lot higher than Spadef, though. And then you can just bullet punch this thing twice and kill it. Living on 4. Shaky, but there you go. And that's the game. Congrats on your win. And yeah, you won with a pretty comfortable differential, sacrificing Mons. You sacrificed your Amoonguss when you needed to. Your Garchomp, though, you could have won this 5-0 easily, considering like how he played. If you had preserved the Garchomp, and like you could have sacrificed your Garchomp on that Excadrill turn, then potentially gone like back into Slowking, who would have been healthier. Then you had a whole lot of different options. Actually, no, winning with Scizor was still the play at that point. And I'm theory mining a little bit, but you definitely could have won this 5-0. So don't throw away Pokemon, I want to say, and really try to work on getting value out of each of your Mons and recognize what your opponents are going to do to get value out of their Mons. That's going to be the main takeaway today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, but that's going to be it for me. Please don't forget to retweet, leave a like, and maybe even subscribe. But until next time, later guys.